Hi guys, Miss Terizzi here. Hard to believe we are almost done with the school year. We have 2 more weeks of learning online, this lesson and then the one that we'll do next week. And I think for the most part you guys are doing a really good job. I miss seeing you all the time. I would hope some of you guys would stop into Zoom so I can see your shining faces. But I am really happy with the quality of work, and it's a lot of stuff that you're going to need for 8th grade. So let's start this lesson. It's week 6, variables on both sides. Now, we did do problems, very basic problems like this earlier this year. The first example is 3b minus 4 equals b plus 2. Now, we draw our line down the middle. Now, all the equations that we really focus on in 7th grade have the variable on one side. Here, we've got variables on both sides. So the first thing we need to do is simplify each side if we can. But 3b minus 4, I can't simplify. And b plus 2, I can't simplify. But then I need to recognize and say, oh look, there's variables on both sides. My next step needs to bring the variables all to one side. So this is really 1b, positive 1b. So how am I going to move that to the other side? I'm going to subtract b from both sides. And look how I'm lining them up under the like terms. 3b minus b. Remember, that's minus 1b. 3 minus 1 is 2b, or not to be. Bring down the minus 4, that comes straight down, equals b minus b is 0. So that's gone. I've moved it to the other side, equals 2. Now, look at that. That is our classic two-step equation. Now I can solve just like we always did. I add 4 to both sides. So 2b equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. b is 3. All right. So remember, simplify both sides. Get the variables together. Now, this one is a little tricky. This is example 2. And it is 8 plus 4d equals 5d. Now, I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I cannot simplify this side. 8 plus 4d, that's it, equals 5d, that's it. Now, there's 2 ways I could go about doing this. I could bring this 4d over to the right, or 5d over to the left. I could have done that over here, too. So, let's subtract. I'm going to show you this one both ways. 4d from both sides. And why did I do that? Because on this left side, or the right side, I only have a variable. So I'm going to bring all the variables over here. 4d minus 4d is 0. So I'm left with 8 equals 5d minus 4d is just d. Done. Now, let's pretend you decided to do that the other way. So let's do that same problem. 8 plus 4d equals 5d. So let's pretend you said, okay, I'm going to bring this 5d over here. So I'm going to subtract 5d. So on this side, 8, 4d minus 5d. 4 minus 5 is negative 1d. And I'm going to write negative 1. You can just write negative d. Equals 5d minus 5d is 0. Now, how do I solve this? How do I move this 8 over to the other side? Well, I have to subtract 8 from both sides because that's a positive 8. I'm left with negative 1d equals negative 8. Now I have to divide both sides by negative 1, and I end up with d is positive 8. Look, same answer, but way more complicated doing it this way. So you should probably think about which way you want to move it before you go ahead and do it. Now, let's look. We're going to do one more example here. This one is just a little bit more complicated. And this is going to lead into next week's. Example 4. It says 2 times the quantity 5x minus 1 equals 3 times the quantity x plus 11. Now, here, simplify both sides. So I'm going to need to use the distributive property on both sides. 2 times 5d, or 5x is 10x. Positive 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Equals over here I'm distributing a positive 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 11 is 33. Okay, now I cannot do any more simplifying. I need to bring the variables together. So I'm going to subtract 3x. Now, if you wanted to, you could subtract 10x. But I want to keep my variable positive, so I'm going to subtract 3x. So 10x minus 3x is 7x. Bring down the minus 2 equals 33, because 3x minus 3x is 0. Here we are, simple two-step. Add 2 to both sides, so 7x equals 35. Divide both sides by 7, x is 5. All right, guys. Hopefully that's a pretty easy concept for you. Let me know if you need any help. Have a great week.